Well, Jacob, thanks for having me, and appreciate you guys listening to me for a few minutes here. So what we do, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we do, and then I'll give you a chance to fill out an interest card, which will give me an opportunity to meet with you individually to kind of show you your options and what we do. And then for those of you that are watching online, you can just actually reply to an email directly to Jacob, just letting him know that you're interested. I'll get your information from him and contact you. And for anybody that replies to the email or fills out one of these cards, we'll put you in a drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card, and so that yeah, you guys have that option. So let me tell you about me and what we do. So I'm Sean. I'm with Family Heritage. I met Jacob at ASRN, which is Athens Senior Resource Network, and we have some mutual friends, and he liked what we do and thought it would benefit you guys to hear about what we do. So we talk about not real fun stuff. So cancer, heart attacks, strokes, accidents. So not real fun stuff, but stuff that happens and stuff you guys know all about. I'm preaching in the choir, talking to you guys. So just by showing hands, who in here has had somebody close to them, friend or family member that's gone through cancer? I think that's 100% of the room here.
That's the entire room.
Yeah. So yeah, so it affects a ton of people. Statistically, according to the American Cancer Society, cancer is going to affect 1 out of every 2 men. So half the men in this room, just me and Jacob. And then a third of women. A third of women will go through it. And I used to think cancer is just an old person thing, but obviously it doesn't play favorites. You hear about kids that go through it. It's the second leading killing disease behind accidents in children under age of 14. A lot of people used to think cancer was just hereditary. Hey, if it's in my family, I'm doomed. If I don't have cancer in my family, then I don't have anything to worry about. But now they say 90% of it is environmental. So the air you breathe, the food you eat, you hear something new every day that's causing cancer. So the good news is more people get through it and survive it. The bad news is that it can get expensive, and financially it can put a huge stress and strain. So that's what we talk to folks about. So here's the 2-page, here's what we do. When something serious happens, we found that there's 2 types of cost. There's the direct cost and the indirect. So the direct cost, this piece of the pie over here, that's things like doctor bills, hospital charges, medical expenses, and that's what a lot of folks we talk to have some form of major medical health insurance. And so we don't have a whole lot to do with that. People have their major medical health insurance, however you're gonna get it. Some of you might buy it privately, through a company, through a spouse. You might get it through your parents if you're under 26. And so we don't have anything to do with that, because hopefully major medical health insurance is going to pay most of your doctor bills in the event that something really serious were to happen. What we help with is the other 2/3 of it, and we call that the indirect cost. Do you guys know what I mean when I say indirect cost associated with going through something major? Any guesses?
Like the cost you're not expecting?
Sure, yeah, simply put, yeah, cost of
loss of income.
That would be a huge part of it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question, and I want you to think through this. If just thinking through your situation, whether you're single or married or have kids, but if you or somebody in your immediate family were to go through a major accident, major illness, or a battle with cancer for 3 months, 6 months, a year, or longer, in what ways would that impact you outside of what health insurance is covering? And so, yeah, the big things we hear are lost income. And so not just for the patient, but we'll see when something happens to one person in the family, it affects everybody. Mm-hmm. When one spouse is sick, the other spouse is there. When kids go through it, I had a client that had a child that went through cancer, and both parents were missing just as much work as if something had happened to them. The regular bills of life don't all of a sudden stop just because somebody's sick. And so people still have their rent or mortgage, utilities, food. Even the best health insurance has limitations. Co-pays, deductibles can add up very quickly. And then travel expenses can be a big thing. Sometimes the best treatment for a specific situation isn't local. There's great facilities here in Athens, but sometimes people are going out of town. My father-in-law flew out to Texas for treatments. We've heard people going to the Mayo Clinic. So that gets expensive. You start factoring in gas, airline tickets, hotels, all of that costs money. And my job, by the way, is not to go around scaring people saying something bad's going to happen. But when do you think most people think about or find out about those indirect costs?
When it happens.
Right, when something happens. Yeah, because when you're healthy, life's trucking along, income's here, expenses are here. All of a sudden something serious happens, that income goes down, expenses go up, right? And that's not good. You got to figure out what you're going to do. And so a lot of folks at that point in time are getting into savings, investments, retirement funds, selling assets, asking family for help, all things you could do if you had a choice. You'd rather not. And so that's what we come. We serve as that backup plan for families to allow you to focus on getting the best treatment, getting better, not having to worry about the financial side of things. So we have a couple different plans we do. Let me pull out my brochure. So our most popular program is called Cancer Care Plus. So it covers cancer, and then the plus part covers anything intensive care related. Heart attack, stroke, serious accident. I just had a client that had double pneumonia. It covers some of those other real big things. So it's our most popular plan because it covers the most serious things that can happen. And then we also do an accidental injury plan that's more for minor things like if you broke a leg, broken arm, broken bones, emergency room visits, that type of thing. But if something happens, what we're going to do is we're going to pay thousands of dollars directly to you, directly to the policyholder to help out with all of those indirect costs. Okay, so health insurance pays doctors and hospitals when something happens, but you can't take a health insurance card and use that to pay your bills at home, or to pay your mortgage, or to book a plane ticket to Texas. So we pay thousands of dollars directly to you to help with all of those indirect costs. So we have a client that's been going through stomach cancer in his mid-30s, and did some research. The best doctor for his situation was in Pennsylvania, and so thankfully he had a policy with us, and we've been paying all of his plane tickets back and forth, pay for his wife to be there with him. We're giving her money for hotel every night, helping him with his time off of work. He's got 4 kids at home, and so that's the idea behind what we do. What we do pays in addition to any other insurance somebody has. We pay as an effect what other policies pay, and they don't affect what we pay. And you have the option to get an individual policy, or you can do a single parent plan or a family plan that's going to include husband, wife, and kids, as long as they're unmarried at age 26. Has anybody heard of plans like this before? Seen stuff like this? Yes, okay. So there's other companies out there. So the biggest thing that we do that's unique, and it depends on your issue age, everybody in this room would qualify for this, but one thing that we do that's unique is our plans are refundable. Because I don't know if you guys feel like I feel sometimes with insurance, you feel like you're paying into something that you may never need or never use, and you feel like you're sort of throwing your money down the drain. So one of the things that's really unique about our plans is that if you pay in, stay healthy, and don't use it, after a period of time, we'll refund 100% of your premiums back, which is nice because at the end of the day, hopefully, you don't ever need something like this. So the big questions with what I do, everybody's like, that sounds great, but people want to know, hey, what's it cost? How exactly does this coverage work? And then how do I get my money back? And that's something that is going to depend on you and your situation, your needs, and so that's something I can meet with everybody on an individual basis on. So what I'll have you guys do is take out those cards, interest cards, and then for you guys that are watching it online, again, this is where you can send an email to Jacob. And for those of you who have the cards, just at least write your name there at the top, and at the bottom you'll see there's a place where you can. There you go.
Like my visual effects right there, so people can see that.
Yeah, and for you guys watching online, you can just simply send an email and say, hey Jacob, I'd like to get more information about that. You can send my information to Sean. Or you can reply back and say, no, sounds great, but I'm not interested, and that's okay too. But just, yeah, you guys can fill those out, and then I'll meet with you guys individually to run through your options and show you how this works.